back from outer space. What's I don't even remember the next lyrics of that song. And now we're back from outer space. Right? Something about
I
that.
have no
sound
idea
like
what
Final
song you're
Fantasy.
referencing.
I don't know,
upon
man.
your face.
Yeah.
Those are the only words I actually know. I don't know the rest.
Or something
Well-
about like a secret lock, secret key.
I know like the
something
rhythm,
like
but
that.
like
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we're back. And we're here to talk more Tarantino. Also,
We got a lot of big directors to talk about today.
yeah. Got another double
I
director's
guess we can
dive.
like
this
finally
episode.
finish our David Fincher director's dive.
Yeah. It's fun with like the ones that are still making movies. You can like come back to them over the years and you'd be like,
Yeah, trickle them in.
yeah, get another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk Hateful Eight for Tarantino. Talk a little The Killer for Fincher, and then a little Last of the Mohicans too, just as a little appetizer, I guess, for our chat. But yeah, what I don't know. Should we just start her off with our movie chest pick this week? Or?
I think it's best we get the Mohicans out the way.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I mean, I don't personally have much to say about this this fine Michael Mann middle of the road
Yeah.
movie.
Fine is
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah. I really don't have a lot to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah. My first take, like I would say, is it starts off incredibly slow. There's some exciting sequences, some forced I guess chemistry, but overall I would say it's just a
feel that
fine
as
movie.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the action just felt like a little over choreographed.
Oh, I was curious.
hokey.
Like
Well,
the like
coming
score.
from Michael Mann though, I mean it's gotta be kind of just exciting in his own way. So I kind of expected it to be super weird or exciting action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they weren't great.
The score,
Yeah.
though, Joe. Yeah, I mean, this one is. I've
Is it
definitely
from
heard
like
it.
something else?
It's
I
definitely
feel like
other
I've
shit.
I've definitely heard it
Do the
before.
research. I should have, but
Hmm.
I almost want to say it was like Tarantino.
I like Googled it, but I couldn't find like some. I don't know. It didn't tell me anything else. It just
Yeah.
like kept bringing up like the Last of the Mohicans shit.
Definitely
The only
something.
other thing I could think of was like Gladiator, but I didn't actually look up the Gladiator music. But like I could be completely wrong. I don't really know.
It's
But
something. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
A much better period piece, Gladiator.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go for something.
Yeah. That's kind of. I mean, yeah, I agree. Kind of a mid overall movie for me, but it's kind of unfortunate because this is one that's like. I mean, I guess all these movie chess ones in their own way are kind of like hyped up in a way, but I've always heard about The Last of the Mohicans like my entire life.
Honestly,
I have
and it's
too.
Same too. I expected a
have
lot more from it.
Yeah.
So
I like also
Yeah.
like haven't really seen a lot of movies with Daniel Day-Lewis, and I think I don't, from what I've heard about him, I feel like everybody fucking loves that guy because they think he's so fucking good. I thought he was fine. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean,
I guess like
the
I kinda get what
hands
you
of the
mean.
right director,
yeah,
he's great.
that could be it. Okay.
I
that
don't
makes
think
sense.
he's at like the godly levels of acting that some people think he's on though, because like his method acting, sure, it bleeds through slightly, but to be quite honest, I don't think it like makes him a different person. I always feel like I see Daniel Day-Lewis putting on an act, so it's not like
I
it's
don't
like.
know. Like the Phantom Thread, I thought that was
I mean,
fantastic.
he
That's
gets
pretty
into the
good.
character for sure. He's Lincoln. He's fucking doing Lincoln shit, you know, like. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel what you mean, Joe. Where it's like, I'm not fully captured or like buying it
Yeah.
all, I guess. But
I don't know. It might have just been, I don't know, that thing where you just have higher expectations for something than what actually you see.
right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess that would be the only positive I took from the super positive I took from the movie. I thought Daniel Day-Lewis was pretty okay. I mean, charming.
Pretty okay.
His one-liners kind of landed. I mean, it's not.
He did have a lot of
after
one-liners.
After seeing this one and then coming from like There Will Be Blood and The Phantom Thread, I haven't seen Lincoln or Gangs of New York where he's like turning up to 11. I don't know. This one's just
Fucking
kind of mid.
gangster New York.
Yeah, I guess it's like earlier in the career for him, so maybe he's not going as hard, you know.
Yeah, well, I know he like lived off the land for what 6 months before he did this, and he like tried to help build the cabin. They said, "Guy, you gotta fuck off because you're screwing everything up."
What a fucking goober,
So,
dude. At a certain point, it's just like too much
That's
for me.
fucking
but,
hilarious.
yeah. Like,
but
was he? I don't know. Was
He
he actually
basically
living off
like
the
proved
land,
that
or
he
was he like
couldn't
going
do
into a
it.
store
Like,
and like picking up food and shit, you know, like and then going back to
yeah,
his
right.
like,
That'd be fucking hilarious.
yeah, I mean, he was fine. His character felt like pretty flat, I guess. I mean,
I thought so. I thought so too. Like
thought the
at certain
whole
points, like
plot
with certain
kinda
like
did.
just one-liners, I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know. Like or the fucking forced chemistry again. Like
Yeah.
it was just it was just weird.
I think that's what made it feel flat to me because it was just like the constant like running away for the romance and like getting out of the battles for the romance, and it was just kind of like this cyclical thing that never. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel any like
didn't build.
arcs. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of just
he
was.
just told her about his dead daddy, and she was just like, "That's it. I'm
Daddy
gonna bag this
issues.
guy."
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I thought it was like easy to get on board with the character, like as far as like his like reserved, snarky, honorable nature. You know, like it was like pretty easily to get into it, but to maintain it was like a different thing. You know, you can only do so many slow motion Daniel Day-Lewis runs before I just don't give a shit. Like just straight up, you know.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Also, why did the sister jump off the cliff? Like, was there any reason for that besides dramatic,
You know, I kind of got just
impactful?
like I'm gonna do it so you don't get it type of thing, but like
They were gonna save her. Like, there was no reason for her to do that. It seemed like the whole movie she just wanted to die after the first like invade that happened.
Back or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
was
This is
just
based
curious
on a
if you
very
guys.
old novel too, so I'm assuming there's like a lot of roots in that novel. But
That's been like I guess that's been like our last two movie chests have been based on like old books. You know, old period books.
yeah. I was kind of thinking for like Michael Mann, like to decide to make this movie is like a bold decision. And I'm not sure if it's one that's based in like I can make this movie like really well, or if it's like I have the ego to like make a really good epic drama movie. Like, because to be quite honest, I don't like if I was to make the movies, I don't know if I'd want this one in my catalog of like I tried to flex historical drama to the best of my budget and abilities, and it didn't even land because like there's no dramatic thrust or like actual good fucking like plot here. So I don't know. It's just like I wonder why he made this movie sometimes. Like I guess a little bit, but
Yeah, no, honestly, and his whole catalog, this one kind of sticks out. Like, especially coming off of, I think I've only seen like two Michael Mann movies besides this one. But like Heat, completely different vibe. But that movie's like that's suited for Michael Mann. So like going into this, I'm expecting that kind of caliber of like excitement and like the actors really bringing it. And it just felt like he couldn't get that out of what he had to work with. I guess I don't know, but I'm with you. It just sticks out. It doesn't work. I don't. I think maybe Michael Mann might be the problem here.
really,
But
there's highlights for me. There were some like dynamic shots. I thought the one that stuck out the most was just like the hatchet coming down in the Native American's hand and like going over the brush as he's about to like murder the fucking soldiers.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down
walking
there
by.
was like a cool bridge shot at the beginning.
oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
They're going over the bridge, it's like mirrored on the water.
For sure.
That's pretty cool.
There's, I mean, there's stuff here, but
well, like I don't know, like the elk shot versus when he's like lining up to shoot a person running away. It's like basically like I don't know how it's basically the same thing. It's like basically the same course of events and same shots like leading up to it.
Yeah, and good ideas.
Yeah, I did like how it was like an equal distribution of like the different groups in the story too, like the military and then like the indigenous people. Like I think maybe why this movie is so revered is that is kind of the first one to like take a very mature take on like the Native American story. Because to me, they didn't really fall into like any traps that some other ones probably before had done, and this one felt pretty like real. I don't know about real, but like it
Yeah,
felt like pretty, true and
I,
good.
I thought it like nailed the sort of like, I don't know, this guy who's like kind of torn between both sides, you know?
Hmm.
I don't know, I thought it like kind of got that right, I guess. Like it actually felt somewhat real, like this situation of like, who's your ally? One second you have allies, the next like shit's going down, and
Like who
so
does
I
he
commend it for
actually
that.
side with, kind of, or like you can tell
Mhm.
he understands both sides, So it's like,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, that was like a good line. I think the chief had where it's or early on it was like Magua or whatever, and he's like talking about how he lays down his tomahawk for the laziness of the white man.
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, it sounds about right. Like these guys definitely have an understanding and have like the strength, the will.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was just cool. I think it like depicted both sides very well. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Just kind of a slug. Yeah.
It was.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Like it's good, like good location shooting. Like clearly, like they put effort and money into it, but it's just like I don't know, nothing like dramatically there to like grab you. I guess, or
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of got lost in the plot a little bit too. I don't know if I was just like not paying attention that
Really
much, but I was
wasn't
just
like
like,
yeah,
compelling enough to
yeah.
me. I don't know. And like I
I
feel like
also
certain
got
characters were
confused.
just like really arrogant. Like I remember specifically like one like the British major, I think that they end up like with who survives that first main attack. Before, like when you're first introduced to that character, he's meeting like I don't know a colonel or some shit, and I don't know, the colonel just like is talking shit about the French and how
Mhm.
like I don't know, they don't have the stomach for war or some shit like that, and I'm just like, why would you underestimate these people? Like I don't know, just
Yeah.
like if you're that high up, like and you're
Mhm.
just gonna be that like make decisions like that are that dumb, like I don't know,
Yeah, I thought the
like
same
you're not a
thing.
good. That's not like a smart character. Like
Right.
I
It's
don't
Yeah,
just
know.
like an
It made me
arrogant
kind of like
line.
lose respect for the writing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The same thing happened to me when when they met him again after one of the attacks, and he was like, "I can't just take this man's word for it." It's like, dude, you have like all these colonists who are saying the same
Like
thing,
what the fuck? Yeah.
like so yeah, I got you there. I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
Writing just a little long.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd have to like look at Michael Mann's filmography too to really kind of, put it in place now. But
Yeah.
3 stars. It's fine. Did a little bit more
That's
than
where I
like
landed.
almost.
I think that's where I landed
I think I
too.
gave it 3.5, maybe. I don't know. Let
Yeah.
me look.
I think like for in
It's
the 90s,
3 and 3.5.
this was a better movie. I don't know. It just feels like we've lost a little bit of the
Yeah, I'm sure because like the set
conviction.
design and everything, like you said, like it's clear there's a lot of time and effort put in.
Hmm.
So maybe that's like kind of what drew people in first, but
Yeah.
it's very eye catching.
Yeah, but the cinematography doesn't keep me. That's like what's sad. Is like
Yeah,
it's eye catching,
didn't
but
like emphasize it
yeah,
as well. Yeah,
yeah.
get that.
But that's what the movie chest is for. You just pick it up, you watch it, you move on to the next one that you haven't seen yet. So
Yeah,
I do have them drawn. I'll post them
it's
later
going.
for the next picks. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more of a
Nice.
fun one for next week. But
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
Well, you're saying this one wasn't that fun?
I just feel
Well,
like we've had the same comment a few weeks in a row where it's like, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this one. Where it's just like
That's true.
we're kind of
That's
just
true.
watching mid
Well, like
movies.
this
But,
one's
yeah,
in
it's
the
like
shadow of Hateful Eight too.
right,
Well,
You
the
know.
a disappointment with this too is it's been so hyped up. Like
right.
all the time I hear
Yeah.
about the Last of the Mohicans. Oh, you haven't seen the Last of the Mohicans? It's like, well, now I
Yeah.
have, and guess what?
Yes,
It's not
okay.
that great.
Would you rather have like fucking Swordfish or like what was that other like really bad movie we picked? Like or that I picked basically. Like cuz there were like a couple in a row that were like
Yeah.
just like really
Yeah.
fucking bad. Oh,
Oh.
Leaving Las
Well,
Vegas.
Oh
oh
yeah.
my
So like
god.
Yeah.
would you rather have like this level quality or like those,
That's
Like
tough. I
Honestly,
think
I think
the
I'd rather watch
Uh,
Swordfish again than
really.
The Last of the Mohicans.
fuck.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of
Wow.
with you there. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
Swordfish was hot garbage, but Last of the Mohicans is like slow.
I
It
think
was
just
very slow.
not
That is a good
entertaining.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Last
There
of
was
the
one
Mohicans
time
is
where I was like, "This is
fall
fun,"
asleep
and that
movie.
was the canoe scene,
They're going
and
down
I
the
was like,
river.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
But after that, that was like the only time my heart rate got pumping just a little bit. Other
I
than
like
that, I
the
was close
first
to
action
dead. So
sequence, like when the dude like instigates the
yeah,
fight
that
and
was
then
fun.
they get ambushed. I mean, like they definitely like
It's okay.
peak there a little bit and then just never fucking
Yeah.
kind of
That did go like, I don't know, basically just like 0 to 60. Like,
yeah. So,
uh,
and then
like
back
it
to
was
zero.
so fucking quick. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Braked hard. Now this is one that I'll like put on
I
and
was just
then
like,
take a nap.
I had to like
you know?
rewind, I remember, because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a little bit
Because
messy.
like, you had to like read the subtitles and then shit just went down. Like,
Well,
I don't
first
know.
off, I have something to say about those subtitles. I don't know where you guys watched it, but I watched it on Tubi. Tubi's got to pick up their subtitle game because they just
Okay.
kind of throw random words in there and then take words out
Yeah.
and like put whatever they want to like fill it. I don't know. I think whoever does Tubi subtitles
Is it
is
AI?
ass.
Sounds like
It's
yeah,
gotta be.
right.
Yeah.
Chat GPT. Yeah.
That sucks. I mean, honestly, like Tubi and Freevee, I kind of dig those services nowadays.
Oh yeah,
just
they
because they're
rule.
free
Yeah.
Yeah.
with ads. But well, you know, whatever. Do what you got to do. At least I'm not paying like Hulu to then
Right.
get ads.
I
Still,
mean,
you know,
you get Tubi, you get for that freebie, you get Pluto. I mean, those are
you got some
worth it.
movies to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Speaking-
episode of Stay Gold brought to you by
Sponsored by Tubi. Speaking of movies to watch, though, should we do Tarantino or should we do Fincher? What you guys want to do first?
Ooh. I kind of want to end on Hateful Eight because I'm just like the most curious about
I'm
your
cool with
guys'
that.
opinions this watch through. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, let's talk the
and we
killer.
can
then.
tie up Fincher. Yeah,
Yeah, this highly anticipated movie for me, I guess, in the last few years when I heard about it. New Fincher movie is going to be
Yeah.
anticipated no matter what. But
Yeah,
one-
I kind of same. Just after the, after the director's dive, I feel like I was really looking forward to it.
you got to see what he's got up his
Yeah.
sleeve now, still, right? I mean,
Yeah,
definitely in the vein of what type of movies he makes. A little bit, I don't know. I guess it's a little bit like self-critical of him, of like his nature or his like style, but also kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting into like weird dissection of this movie already, but I guess what were your first instincts or first thoughts on like the killer?
I'm kind of down with any movie that's like isolated to one character, as long as that character is like compelling. And I mean, Michael Fassbender did it for me. His the whatever you call it, where he speaks over the voiceover
Voiceover.
kind of work. Yeah, I dug that. Like that was just like, it's perfect for what he was trying to get across. And
Well,
yeah.
what made
Yeah.
this like single character, isolated character story more interesting, I thought, is
yeah,
we're always in his head, and it's always seen through his POV, so it's just more interesting that way. So
Yeah.
he's an unreliable narrator right off the bat, so like you're always seeing his perspective on things. So it's just a lot more interesting that way. Like the forbid empathy that he says, does he actually forbid empathy, or does he just
Yeah.
want to be that way, want to
Mhm.
strive for that perfection in his career?
It's like his
Yeah.
mental mantra almost.
Right.
Of like,
Yeah, anticipate, don't improvise, and like half the time
Right.
it does feel like he's improvising.
Exactly.
like-
Exactly. So
yeah.
it's
I
just a
guess that is
cool. It's
true.
just an interesting
Yeah.
perspective to see the movie through
That like made me
his
think
eyes.
like of,
Yeah.
of Fincher's like other movies. And like it kind of makes you think like there is a decent amount of like self-character narration. I mean,
Oh,
like Fight
yeah,
Club.
It's like a
Like
Fincher staple almost.
I'm pretty sure for some
Yeah.
reason the second one I thought of was like the girl with the dragon tattoo, but I know that there's like multiple others I would assume.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Yeah, Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to like run through it right now, but there's
Yeah.
Benjamin Button. I think
don't
has
know.
one. Yeah.
I think for me, it goes back to like what I said when we were talking about the last Mohicans. Like, I think my expectations for this movie were too high, and for me, it didn't like pay
Didn't live
off, or it didn't get to. Yeah, it didn't really like live up to what I thought it would be. Because I mean, like, I don't know, this like genre is like Fincher's shit, and like
Right.
I did think Michael Fassbender did a really good job, and I did like the character narration. But like, I feel like I kind of just ultimately settled that it was like a decent movie, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't just like anything extraordinary to me, though. You know?
I feel that.
I feel
I
that,
I've
don't
yeah.
know. I feel like it. I don't know. It just didn't have like the Fincher secret sauce that the other like peak movies had of his.
Yeah.
Like for me, at least, I don't know.
I get you. I think this one is pretty divisive for like for a Fincher movie to me, because I did rewatch this movie a couple days ago because my first watch I had the similar reaction actually. I was just like, that's a middle Fincher movie. He's kind of doing his classic shit here and there, but it's kind of like not as like well thought out or as compelling as some of his other stuff. Um, and I like listened to a couple other perspectives and then rewatched it again, and I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. I will say that. I think it's
Hell
a better
yeah.
movie
Hmm.
than I gave it a credit for originally. I don't think it's top tier Fincher still. I don't think it's like got the like you said the secret sauce or like the ultra power that some of his other ones have, but he has a quiet, calculated nature in this movie, which obviously reflects the main character. That I don't know, it pays off in ways like his other movies do. Like I wanted to rewatch this movie after like a week,
Yeah.
and that's a Fincher movie because he it draws you back, and this one did draw me back. So it's like
Yeah,
it's there, but it's
definitely.
not up top 10 out of 10. It's like I'm gonna give it 4 stars now. I think is like it was 3.5. I think it's like upper echelon, but not fully there.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I had the same like instinct of like, damn, I know I'm gonna rewatch this again, just because of how engaging it was, and it's just
And
like
that's
good commentary. Yeah.
and the thing about like the way I was I'm flopping when I did rate it. I had it at 4.5, and then I was like, yeah, okay, maybe it's 4 just because it's such a basic plot line. But then
Hmm.
I thought about the movie, and I have no complaints. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it besides it being just a basic plot line. But if he can make that basic plot line super interesting, and like the sound design of it making it even more
Yeah.
interesting, I don't know.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it that I could see. Um, but and it brings you back. I mean, what more could you ask for in a quick 2 hour movie, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound
so
design was something that really jumped out to me too in
Fantastic.
this one.
I,
Yeah,
I think
really good.
that's like a key feature of why Fincher's films are rewatchable. But I was also thinking why any film is like truly excellent is like based in its sound design, because it's like I think I said it a couple weeks ago or something. It was like you're in like a soundscape that a person is like tailoring for 2 hours. Especially in Fincher's
yeah,
movie, where like the score like
Yeah.
comes in and out of what just like sounds are and like tones are and shit. But it's like somebody is like locking you into that like long 2 hour song. It's like
yeah,
and it's like
Yeah.
hypnotic almost. And with like the narration being locked into that perspective, like his movies and this movie, it's just like you're locked in a way that's like so engaging still. But
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, the
Yeah.
plot to me, I
Like this
think, was a main detractor of why I didn't like it originally. Is it's so basic and so kind of
pretty
to me,
straightforward.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But also like I think I was looking for more writing highs, I guess, because like the guy's giving you very like basic kind of like hammy lines and stuff. Like he's talking about Popeye, I am what I am, and it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be cool, but it's also supposed to be like dumb, And and
Yeah.
like when on the first watch through, I didn't know if Fincher was being as smart as he thought he was. Like it doesn't feel like at all times in this movie that he's like on the joke. Sometimes it thinks he feels like he's doing it straightforward. So I don't know if that's making sense at all, but I think overall he knows what he's doing. It's this tightrope act of is he skilled, is he a dumb as fuck, like and just like building
Right.
himself up in these ways. But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got I got that because like it's a very secular view you're given to this guy. And I don't know, it's like drawing metaphors of like just like a lot of the stuff he's saying, just you can sort of like draw parallels to just like in life about like success and like what your drive is basically. And it's like not till the end of this one that you kind of like find out that his drive is kind of just the same as everyone else's, like, you know, that feeling of comfortability and like ending up okay, feeling secure or whatever. And it's like,
he's one of the many.
that's what drives you. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, that's what really, because I was kind of in that same boat. I was like, is this as smart as it thinks it is? But yeah, by the end of it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, it kind of like, it just became more self-aware by the end of it. I was like, okay, I got
mean,
this.
you start off with him saying, you know, how precise he is about everything, and that he has to get his heart rate at a certain time, and then he fucks up the kill, and
Yeah.
he's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then he says forbid empathy, and the whole rest of the movie is based off him caring for somebody in a revenge plot. So
Yeah.
again, that turns up this is a unreliable narrator. And then shit, there was one more part that really emphasized like, him being kind of shoddy at his work. So it's like, is he actually as good as he says he is? When he puts the nails in the guy's chest and he's like, he's got like seven, six,
And he just
oh
dies
fuck,
immediately.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So
fucking idiot. Like,
Yeah, I mean, even that fight scene in like Florida with that dude, you know,
Mhm.
dope ass fight scene. Where it's like,
fantastic.
holy,
yeah.
this went to shit quick. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and he's like, it's like weird disconnect in this movie that you feel sometimes because he's like, he's thrusting meatballs over the fucking fence for the dog that the dog isn't even paying attention to, and then
Exactly.
it like eats
Yeah.
one. And he's like, I did it right, or whatever. You know, it's like he's just like such an idiot. I felt on the second view, I was like, this guy's just not it. Like he thinks he's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I noted that the line he's like the feature line that I think landed wrong the first time, but actually opened up the second time was I don't give a fuck. I was just like,
Yeah.
cringe as fuck, dude. Like I don't, you know, like, and then
Yeah.
he's like, he's lining up the shot, and then and then the next, it's not the next line, but it's like close to it. He's like, fuck. Like he fucks up the shot. He goes, fuck. So it's like literally he's giving a fuck like right after that. So it's just, I don't know, that it opened up the irony in the second watch a lot more. And I think you have to be tuned in for that, or else this movie will be just kind of one note, you know, or else, and not even a good note either, I don't think. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But like, I feel like anytime he'd go anywhere and have to like show his passport or ID, like how many different names or aliases he went by, you know,
Yeah,
it was
all
just
like
like kind of like goofy every time they would like come up with the next one, like have a good flight, like Mr. whatever the fuck, like
Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
It was like all like
Yeah.
the movie characters or TV characters or something like that. But yeah,
I mean, cool little things too to like kind of give you the idea that he is a professional is like when he goes in to get who the taxi driver is, he like makes it staged like a robbery. So like he throws the cash register out and stuff.
Mhm.
And then when he kills the guy, he steals his boombox because it makes it look like someone shot him for his boombox. There's things like that where it's like
Little
he
touches.
he is like a professional, but since he is led by this emotional side, even though he wants you to think he's not, he makes mistakes. So
See, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I go back on. I was like, I don't really know yet. Is like, to me, the more like unoriginal aspects of the movie come from like his girlfriend or whatever that character is. Like, I mean, he is doing this all for safety of them, but like, I don't know. I just felt like that character was barely fleshed out and didn't mean anything to him. So I don't even know if he was
yeah.
really doing it for her, or he just was like, I want to go do this in some name of something that doesn't, you know, I'm
Then you
justifying
can
it this
think,
way, but don't care really.
That's a
right.
good point. Yeah.
Then you can think like, is he actually doing it for her, or is he just worried for his own well-being? You
Yeah.
know, because the character is not fleshed out, it gives you more time to think for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a little gray, and I kind of wish. I think this movie might have been more interesting if he didn't have a girlfriend or a wife. Just be like, he's just that dude, and like going out for his own reason would have been more impactful, I guess. But I don't know. And also, I guess like another negative I found was that it was really hard to shake just like the Dexter comparisons with the monologue in this movie. Just it naturally was like there. I don't know, just like the killer calculated planning, plotting,
really
watching.
talking
Like,
about his McDonald's meal because Dexter's always eating and driving.
right.
I mean,
Like I'm
they're
getting the
always talking about
protein.
what he's eating.
Right.
Right.
So it just feels like it's like 10 years past like peak time it could have been made maybe, but like still solid, you know, in its execution. But I did actually listen to an interview with Fincher, and he said that there was no storyboarding on this movie, which just kind of blew my mind a little bit. That a man like Fincher would go into filming a movie with like no story. Like he's so calculated,
Maybe he's
but
just
then
trying
he's
some
not.
new shit.
He's not anticipating. He's
he has
improvising.
no
Put it on
plans.
hard mode. He put it
I
on
feel
hard
like
mode.
he's just like working on his anxiety. Like
Right.
it was just so like a.
It's like he doesn't
Like,
read
this
any of the
shit's too
instructions and then just tries
fucking
to build
easy.
it.
Yes,
It's like, okay, and then he does, and he
And look at what he came
does it
up
50
with.
times though.
Pretty,
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
I
Look
guess
what
what
he
I'm
came up
saying.
with without a storyboard.
I guess what I'm saying for this one is like are there any true visuals in this movie that pop in a way that's like you can? I feel like I can kind of tell he didn't storyboard this one a little bit, where it's like, you know, that's a good movie, shot well. Is it? Can you pick out one impactful shot of the movie?
I mean, the transition at the airport was kind of cool, where he looks up at the plane and it flies over
That's
and it
cool.
cuts down and he drives in.
Just thinking about that. There was like a couple cuts where he's like driving, and it's like just like on location. I think that would have been jarring otherwise, but I don't know. Maybe it's because he was like this character that it was like, oh yeah, okay, so it makes sense. He's like
And
he's on the move. Like
I like
the obvious one too is the fight sequence.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that one
That was
is
kind of
a
mesmerizing.
highlight, and it's one of the
Yeah,
best fights
good.
in recent memory, I'd say. To me,
Yeah.
that feels like it was a stunt team. You know, like Fincher came in and made some decisions, but the stunt team came up with that and then approached Fincher. You know, so it's like,
yeah, I just loved like all the weapons. They were just constantly throwing shit at each other and like smashing shit. Like using.
oh yeah, dude, it was so raw.
Yeah, it was
and
just
When
yeah.
he
cheese
falls down
grater.
on that fucking table, oh my
Yeah.
god! Every time I see that, I'm like,
when he
Pulls
like
that
kicks
thing
out his
out.
leg and then he like, is that what you're talking about? And it falls into like
yeah,
the like
falls on the table,
Yeah.
right up his ass.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, that's a great sequence, and the sound design and like the visuals of that
Oh my
sequence
god!
are
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
point. It's like hidden in
Crazy.
darkness, but enough like definition to give you it all too. But
Right. This is actually probably one of my favorite theater experiences this year. So
I can imagine it was pretty dope in the theater.
I think it
Yeah,
might have been
Yeah.
better, in the theater probably.
I could see that.
especially that fight sequence. I mean, shit.
yeah.
I did like I guess as far as shots goes, when he's driving away for the first kill and you see like the mask, it's not really like a well thought out shot. It's pretty quick, but that was a nice shot. And then the time jumps where it's like just his car chilling in like Florida, and then it becomes like sunset. Those shots are really well done. I like those ones a lot. But I don't know, just like nothing like truly, I guess, but maybe that's just Fincher, you know, he's like every shot is so composed that it all kind of just flows as like this
Definitely.
orchestration or whatever, I guess you'd say. But
All right.
made a note that he has this little intro sequence here, and it's like the fastest intro sequence
Oh my
I've ever
god!
seen.
Yeah.
It's like so you like barely can latch onto the information before like the next thing's there, I feel like.
And it starts so quickly. Like when it started in the theater, I was like, "Whoa, okay, movie's on."
Yeah, it's just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, but it's like Fincher's got to have that sequence in there somewhere. But this one, he just like cranked it as fast as he could. And I did note that I'm not a huge like chapter guy, but I think this movie actually did it added having chapters in this movie, I'd say. Like each city has like a chapter. That was nice.
I think so too.
Yeah. Each chapter felt like its own distinct section of story, like a chapter should.
Yeah, I feel like it kept me focused on like what was going on.
Yeah.
Like his task at the moment, I guess. You know?
I think it could have blended together in a way that's like more boring if they didn't have the chapters in this movie.
I agree. I don't know, because then I'd just be like thinking about what's going to be happening. I don't know.
And where am I?
I feel
like, why am I here?
It like added a little bit of like, you kind of like know what's coming almost. I don't know.
Yeah.
So did it go above Benjamin Button for you in your ranking now after second watch through?
I think so, but I also
Thank
think
God.
that Benjamin Button might move up in the future. So like, we'll see.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
We'll see. This one, it jumped into my top
Have
10
you
of the year.
rewatched that yet too?
I've seen
Yeah,
that movie
you
like
turned
10
on
times. So
Benji Button. You've seen that many
Wow.
times?
probably 10. I mean, that's a movie I'll put on and fall
That's
asleep to, but
crazy.
like I've also put it on and like
Fall
enjoyed
asleep
it.
too.
What's that?
So you turn that on to fall asleep to, just like you turn on Last of the Mohicans to fall
No,
asleep
these
to?
are two
You kidding me?
distinctly separate fall asleep movies. Now, Last Mohicans is one that you turn on and fall asleep 5 minutes in. Benjamin Button is like, maybe I'll stay awake and watch it. Maybe I'll fall asleep if I don't.
Halfway
Like,
through.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Jesus.
That's
It
the REM
did.
cycle.
It did make the top 10 of my year right now though, and not. I guess I'm just a downer this year on like big Hollywood directors, but out of the people who have made films this year, I think this is the best one. Out of like Christopher Nolan, Greta Gerwig, Martin Scorsese, I think Fincher's still got it more than some of those other guys. So Greta Gerwig, I think she's still very on it, but I just didn't enjoy Barbie as much as I wanted to. But
It was great.
this one's good.
Yeah,
I
fuck
like
that
it.
movie.
Damn you. Damn you guys.
Interesting.
I
I
didn't
just
know.
we were
realized
just
the
so
other day,
fun, man.
actually, that it's almost time for our end of the year rankings. So
Yeah,
Yeah. That'll be fun.
it's just
Damn.
like disappointing
I'm gonna
year.
have to think real hard about that.
Right.
I don't have any 5-star movies.
I'm
this
definitely
year.
gonna need to do some research.
none
Yeah.
at all.
I have one 4.5-star movie, and that's it. Everything else is below.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Spider-Verse either have a 5 or 4.5. But that's
Oh,
probably
that
higher.
movie. Oh, that
More.
fucking movie.
Damn.
It's on Netflix now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Think about rewatching it.
I did find it. I guess like one last discussion about the killer before we move on. I think another gripe that most people have, and I can kind of understand, is like it's pretty anticlimactic at the end.
I can see that.
It's building up
Yeah.
all these kills, and then like the one dude he leaves is the dude he probably should have killed. You know, like.
But
Which
it's
is part of the
so
irony.
it's so
but-
good why he leaves him too, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause
That's what I
he
was
doesn't
thinking.
even give a fuck. So he's like, I have no concern here.
Yeah,
Like,
but
this guy's going to forget me as soon as I leave the door.
yeah, but like honestly, like he didn't have to kill basically everyone he talked to. Like he didn't have to do anything. Like he didn't have to, like especially the taxi driver. Like all the people are saying like they don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. They don't want they don't want to say anything. And immediately once they plead, he
Yeah.
kills them. Every time he like immediately once they
And,
start
like,
saying like
That's
but
the guy
he
who
doesn't
enacted the
believe them.
plans,
Right.
basically, too.
it's
Like,
like
right.
why
like
did
I
you
mean,
leave
like,
him?
regardless of whether he killed the other hitmen or not, like he could just hire more hitmen and he'd kill them too. But like they didn't really have anything to do with. They were just hired for the job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just like I don't know. I was rewatching it, and he literally gains like no information from the taxi driver. He basically knew that two people left in a green taxi, and where did they go? Probably the airport. Like he
Yeah.
literally gains nothing. He just
he got like the
knows that
leg
they-
thing
What's
because,
it's
like,
that?
I mean, he got like the leg thing for the bigger dude.
Yeah, he was
'Cause,
bleeding.
limp.
There was
he had
blood
like a
all
limp.
over his fucking
Well,
apartment.
he could
his
like
fucking
tell
mansion.
that he was like, because like when he was scoping him out, you could tell he had like a limp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
so he
know,
knew
'cause,
which
I mean,
guy was
maybe-
the guy
yeah.
to kill.
Basically,
Maybe he didn't know the
next
actual
step
guy.
after the taxi driver was like going to his dude who he gets all his jobs from, and then he through that link he gets literally the cards with the people's information. So the taxi driver serves no purpose in his journey because he was just going to go to his boss anyway and be like, "Hey, what happened?" You know, like.
Yeah, so
So-
taxi
Well,
driver guy definitely didn't need to die.
Collateral
And
damage.
also, though, like he killed the like taxi driver guy who drove the assassins, but he didn't kill the other taxi driver guy at the shop. He
Right.
made that one look like a robbery
Right,
instead of
because he
killing
had a
that
mask
guy.
on. Not at the start
mean,
though. So you did
sure.
see his face. Right. So he's just like wandering around with this like code that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's an
I mean,
unreliable narrator.
I don't know.
though.
Also,
I'm-
yeah,
it's
so maybe
sloppy.
he
It's
was just
there.
like pissed
It's
off.
good.
Like maybe
Yeah.
maybe he was just like pissed off at the world, so he
taxi.
took it out of the taxi guy.
yeah.
You
I
know, he was like
guess.
pissed at the people. I don't know.
And then
I
he gets
mean,
it all out of
it
his
didn't
system
seem
by the
like
time
that
he
though.
gets to the top, and he's just
I
like,
didn't pick that up. I just like pulled that out of me right now. But
yeah.
you know,
No,
like
I mean, there's a message that it's getting at there where it's like he's killing all the wrong people, I think, and then he gets to the
Yeah.
top and lets the dude go that he should have killed. You know, like honestly, like, and it just adds to how dumb he is. Like straight up, I don't know. He thinks he's such a smart guy, and he's such a fucking idiot. Like that's just kind of what I gained watching it again. But he's calculated.
all right.
You know, he's good
Maybe
at
I'll
his job.
watch it again. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
It's a brisk 2 hours, I'd say. You know, it moves as much as a movie can.
It
Yeah,
did. It did actually move
does.
pretty quick.
Speaking of movies that I guess move at a decent rate, shall we move on to
Oh, here we
Tarantino?
go.
Yeah. All right, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
You want an intro, Alex? You got anything special to say about this one in the filmography?
Yeah, I guess I could pull something out here. I could always pull something out for Tarantino. I'm a simp. What can I say?
All right.
Yeah, so I would say honestly, I remember this movie coming out, and I was in high school, senior year, and my economics teacher, I would watch Netflix my entire senior year, because I got it on my iPad before they like canceled everybody from downloading apps. So that was the first thing I did because it was senior year. I said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
So I'd watch movies and stuff all the time. And my economics teacher, after he'd get done teaching and he'd give us time to work on our stuff, he'd come stand behind me and watch whatever I was watching on Netflix. And at one point, he was, obviously asked me about my taste. And I remember Hateful Eight coming up, and everyone was saying, "Oh, I forget what the reason was, but people were saying that they were going to boycott this movie specifically in Tarantino's filmography when it came out." And I'm not sure
Just
why.
from
I'm
Django.
sure there was, I don't know, I'm sure there was some political reason why they were going to do it. And I just remember this being like one of his lower
Man.
end movies. And when I first watched it, I thought it was lower end. But then after rewatch, honestly, it's a great movie. I mean, the writing is there, the directing is there, it's funny, it's
Yeah.
smart. I mean, what more could you ask for? And it's contained in a cabin, but it's so engaging the entire time. So I don't know. I mean, I love this movie every rewatch, and I love it more every rewatch. So, and every time I rewatch it, I've given it like another half star. And I think it's time to give it 5 stars.
Wow.
What do you guys think?
Wow.
I'm kind of with you there. Like, I've only watched this, I think I've only watched it twice. So this is my third time watching it. I watched the
Okay.
extended version this time. And yeah, I don't know. Earlier this year, I watched like Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express and stuff like that. And those just like didn't really do it for me. I think this is like one of the best like whodunits mystery thrillers I've ever seen. Because yeah, like you said, it's all contained in one space. You're always like kind of raising your there's like little hints dropped throughout, of like that's everyone's a little suspicious, but like you can pick up on like who's really kind of like who you should keep your eye on. So yeah, when I watched it this time, I was just like, I don't know, I was just so invested, and like the 4 like episode structure is just like just hits, dude. Because by the time that 4th one was going, I was like, what? Am I like still here for this? And then, fuck, man, like it's the fireworks go off with Mannix and Warren, dude. At the end, it's so fucking good. Like,
You
Yeah.
gonna make a deal with that diabolical bitch?
Yeah, it's like so
Yes.
intense there at the end too. How he like fucking passes out and then it's like a
Yeah.
fucking race to the gun.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Like
so
some
good.
of that stuff was like drawn out for me.
Yeah.
Just like some of the slow-mo or some of like the fucking scenes where it's just like intense music in the background, but it's like a really long period of time. Which like I get it's to build suspense, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, I had seen this movie one other time. This is my second time seeing it. I think I liked it less this time I watched it. Just because like I knew who all the killers were, but also it's like there's another person in an option that you didn't know was an option, And it kind of feels like a cop out because it's like you never were gonna know the right answer because it wasn't possible to
given
know.
full information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I don't know. In a way, I feel like it's kind of a cop out because there's one dude hiding under the floor, and you didn't even know that that was an option, or there was a fucking basement, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
But it's rendered useless because they just blow his brains out immediately. So
I guess it's a good point, but like
yeah.
I don't know.
I
That is
mean,
like the twist for most of the movie, but
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I get what you mean though, because to be quite honest, this rewatch, I've seen this movie maybe like 5 times, and yeah, this one it's not getting better on rewatch for me. I'd say, unfortunately, it's
Really?
just like, I watched this one in theaters, and it was pretty. I enjoyed it in theaters. Not my favorite Tarantino, but it was, I enjoyed it. I think that's like the peak of enjoyment maybe in this movie. Maybe I'll come back around to it, but like, yeah, I think for what you guys said, it's like the reveals of the killers is so like widespread within the very limited scope of the characters that we have, that like having everyone be the killer is like not a reveal to me. Like it makes like rewatch viewings
I will say I
less
was like,
enjoyable.
at least on this watch through, I was actually
Sure.
engaged the entire time because I was trying to like pick out those like pieces though, like little things that
Yeah.
I didn't pick up before.
Yeah.
So like maybe
Yeah.
I was just like too nitpicky too, but I don't know.
Fair enough. I mean,
so like it's possible that it could get better.
Yeah.
I think because I mean,
don't get me
I
wrong,
don't
this is a very good movie. Like it's super engaging, and it's very
yeah, like
entertaining.
honestly, dude, Sam Jackson in this movie is so fucking good.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Me
for sure.
laughing, him crying.
yeah,
This
Like,
black
yeah.
dingus.
My big black Johnson.
Yeah. No, I mean
Him
it's
shaking.
enjoyable, it's fun, it's wild, it's Tarantino, so it's gonna be at a threshold of enjoyment. Just at a minimum, it's gonna reach that threshold. But it's still at a
I
three
did
and a
think it
half
was
in
kind
my
of weird
mind.
that I think it was chapter 3 or 4. They just like started being a narrator,
Yeah, it's
but there
Tarantino.
had not been a narrator
yeah.
before.
Yeah, it's
I
just
just
like,
thought it was like fucking kind of out of nowhere. Like,
Let's come out of yeah.
I
but
mean,
like it
this
was
one
fine.
out of
I
more
feel
than
like that
others.
that and like other events in the movie, like the intensity wise, like trying to make people you either like feel a certain emotion, or like think a certain way based on like what's going on with the plot, like who you should suspect. I feel like was spoon fed to you too much in this almost, where like you could have just been able to pick it up. But like I don't know. I don't think that necessarily makes it a bad thing. I think it would just like over explained sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I
I
get what
didn't
you
know if
mean.
that was like to maybe get more people to watch it or something, or just like I don't know. But
To me, it's like
maybe.
the playfulness is fun, and I love it, and that's it's good.
Yeah.
But it's like a little too foreshadowy in this movie. I guess that's what you're kind of getting at. Like, it's like I haven't called you a liar, Bob, not yet. It's like these seeds are just being like thrown at your face instead of like being planted. It's just like, fuck, okay, I don't know. It's like I ain't ever going out in that shit ever again, DB or whatever. Like it's like, yeah, that guy's gonna die. Like I don't know. So it's just like hard
Dude,
to get
Poor
fully
guy.
invested in it.
I
when
was
it's so
actually
blatant.
thinking I had written down when it's like revealed like who the killers are and then it goes back in time to like show like when they first showed up at the cabin. At first I was like, why the fuck didn't they just poison the coffee initially? But like I thought later like they totally might have poisoned the coffee because like the first thing Kurt Russell does when he shows up is
Dumps it
drink
out.
one. Yeah, he spits it out and then throws out all the fucking coffee and makes new coffee. So like that totally wouldn't have even worked anyway, which is kind of interesting because like
Maybe.
that's
Yeah.
like tying up some loose strings.
Maybe,
It'd
you
be
know, I
funny
don't
if
know.
they did, and then I just ended up remaking it.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like, all right, well, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting though, because I remember like specifically that scene you were talking about, Matt, like when he's with Bob in the stable. I remember my first time watching it, and that's when I was like picked up on the idea that this was like we were supposed to be suspicious of like all these characters. Like I
Mhm.
didn't really feel that when Kurt Russell and Sam L's character first meet. It's more of just like, skeptical wanderer or whatever, like you should be a little wary.
I
But
think they
then
like
like,
because they knew each other
yeah,
too. I felt like more
yeah,
safe, or
true.
that they had met each other before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I didn't get that full exactly. I didn't get that full like this is kind of like the murder mystery thriller until they get to Minnie's haberdashery. And then when they get back in, he's like, "Who the fuck broke this door?" And Bob's just like, "Just give me another wood plank." Like it's like, all right, this motherfucker broke the door. Like he's sus like straight off the
Mhm.
bat. Like yeah,
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
it's
it leads
interesting
you.
too that Sam Jackson's character knows off the bat, like Minnie and
Mhm.
them, something's
yeah,
wrong because she stopped letting Mexicans in, you
Yeah.
know? So, and then they would
yeah,
put Bob the
yeah.
Mexican in charge. So right off the bat, you know, Samuel L. Jackson is like on the case,
Mhm.
which I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fun.
For
I
That's
sure.
good.
love I love how it shifts to from like Kurt kind of being you're kind of like with him because he's chained to the main outlaw
Yeah.
chick, Damage, and then it's like once shit starts going down, it's like, all right, Warren's gonna really fucking like suss this shit out. And then it's just
Mhm.
great to see Mannix like along for the ride.
I mean,
I'm like,
Mannix is as
I
much
say
as
we
like
go
there's
with
a
my
comic.
theory,
Yeah.
and it's the ugliest one that
Ugliest
did it.
guy, dude.
I'm looking
yeah,
at you, Joe Gage.
I mean, his delivery is just spot on, man. But
so
just
good.
that character too is
Fucking
Yeah,
he's a wild card in the
fantastic.
story, but then he becomes like a more like contained, like honorable character. It's kind of weird, like
right.
Right. Cool to see.
Anybody could drink that coffee, like me. God damn it!
yeah, he's like
Great.
plotting his like who he's gonna go with at the end, and ultimately he decides that he's gonna kill Daisy because she was gonna like let him die. It's all just like
Yeah,
selfish,
Yeah, yeah,
like he doesn't really
and that's
know until the
honestly
end.
with his character. That's kind of what makes him like. They're all hateful and deceitful, but honestly, I think he was the most honest person there.
Hmm.
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
He's like
I
the most other than Kurt, he's like the most forthcoming,
right.
I think, with like who he is and like what he's
Hmm.
why he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he's got his, like, obviously, like, Southern racist views, which
Yeah.
are, like, the main conflict between him and Warren. And then by the
Mhm.
end of it, I mean, to me, I don't really know exactly what this movie's saying, but, like, it's like a weird cathartic, like, coming to terms with, like, white and black
Right.
conflict after the Civil War through
Yeah.
the nature of, like,
Yeah.
civil frontier justice, like,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah, that hit me a little
cathartic
harder this walk through too. Yeah.
in a way at
Yeah.
the end for them in these wild ass like perspectives that like somewhere meet in the middle. Because like when Warren notices that Mannix doesn't like Domergue or another character because his daddy was like actually a respectful general who does stuff like he like it really like opened up like he's not just like this racist fuck, he's like actually has values and stuff still, but
Got,
he's just
Right.
got a little bit of
Principles.
honor and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, those
cool.
characters are great, and ending them at the movie is great. In the way that they do.
Yeah. I mean, every character is so well fleshed out, I think. I mean, and that's what makes
Yeah.
it even more engaging. And on top of that, it's great dialogue writing. So
Yeah.
it's so good. And every time I watch it, I just think it gets better and better.
I just don't think the structure really allows for the most compelling movie. Like revealing
No?
basically Warren halfway through just calls out exactly what's going on. He's like, "You're all in on it," and like, and from then on, there's no more discoveries. But then they flash back to show you how they got there, but we don't need to know or care. Like it just doesn't matter, in my opinion. And on coupled with the fact that you introduced Channing Tatum that we had no idea about, and it's just like
That was I did get a little thrown. I don't know, maybe I just don't expect or want to see Channing Tatum in a Tarantino movie, but I was just like, this
it's
feels
a little
weird.
I
weird.
did.
Like,
Yeah, I thought it was fucking weird too. Yeah,
yeah.
He played it to the best of his ability, I'd say.
Yeah, he was
But
fine. He was
I
fine.
think so too.
yeah.
I'm pro
I was
Channing
gonna
Tatum.
say I wrote down.
Magic Mike.
I felt like Tim
Yeah.
Roth was like trying to be Christoph Waltz in
That's
this.
exactly how I felt. I was like, did he could was he just like tied up?
Then I thought about
Like-
it and I'm like, should have Christoph Waltz like been this part? And then I'm like,
I think it may
I
have
mean,
been
I guess
written
like
for him.
probably not because like I feel like Tim Roth like I don't know, he's like a little bit slimier than Christoph Waltz. Like if he's in a gang, I couldn't see Christoph Waltz being in a gang. I don't know.
For sure.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I could see him as a Nazi, but not in a gang. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Big difference.
I get what you
No,
mean.
So
I
though.
did
I
flip-flop
don't know.
on
I feel
that.
like
Yeah.
it does kind of fit better, I guess, in a way, but
Mm.
it just felt kind of weird sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, I feel that. I had the same thought. And then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? He did kind of play up the sort of like anxious British guy who's like trying to pass as this guy, you know, it makes him
Mhm.
like suspicious enough. So I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, all right.
He's
Ended
like
up
the
being okay with
smartest
it.
guy in the room, I'd say, or maybe not the smartest
Yeah.
overall, but like he's clearly like the most like educated and like able to
Mm-hmm.
manage this. He's trying to manage the situation through his
Yeah,
like class or whatever, you know. But
as
then you
opposed
got
to
Michael
Bob and
Madsen
Paige.
sitting over the corner, just being gruff, fucking doing nothing the whole
Yeah.
movie. Like,
Dude, like that Christmas story, like that is the biggest crock of bullshit like I've ever heard.
yeah,
Visited my
Yeah,
mother.
about the cows or whatever. Yeah,
for
he's
Christmas.
like
yeah,
a rancher or some shit. Yeah,
yeah.
he's
It's
just
like,
coming
all right,
back
bro.
after a long drive.
It's like bullshit. Like you couldn't come
Yeah.
up with anything better. Like,
yeah.
The one guy had Tim Roth had fucking business cards.
yeah, right. Like that's if you're looking to be legit, like or
I
seem
guess.
legit.
Man, I will say, those like peppermint sticks kind of made me want some peppermint sticks.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
feel
did look
that.
good.
Maybe it's just the season. Tis the
Yeah,
season.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's getting colder. Yeah, about to bundle up.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Kind of good.
yeah, I guess like to me, the dialogue is very good. It's very fucking good. It's a little bit like rambling and repetitive in my opinion, though. Especially like the first 30 minutes, it's a very well like composed intro, and it gets you very fast into the characters when the stagecoach shows up. And then it adds like 3 more characters along the way, and it just takes too much exposition, in my opinion, in the stagecoaches, where they're literally just talking about their past. They're talking about everything. They're, you know,
Yeah.
Sets the tone and kind of gives you like an idea of what each character and how they stand. Like we said with
Mhm.
Maddox's character, you saw his principles right off the gate when he said to put the cuffs on, and he said, "Nope."
Nope.
And so
yeah,
like that's where he
it's
stands right off the bat.
yeah. I mean, it really
Yeah.
fleshes out those
And
characters in a great way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
when Jason Lee like licks her blood and looks out the window, it's one of the best moments in the movie. You know.
Yeah.
And
yeah, she kills it too.
yeah, she's great in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's
But
just like
I think that's why I like the structure so much is because it's like by the second act it's like fully set up for this murder mystery, and then like it kind of devolves in the third, and then if to me by the fourth episode it's like it feels straight up like the Tarantino ultimatum shootout type shit that I'm like there for. So
yeah.
I don't know. It flowed well for me.
I also kind of picked up at the end, basically at the point where Channing Tatum does show up and he like tosses his guns out of the basement and he like pops up and they shoot him. If Sam Jackson is like just willing to shoot anybody at that point in the movie, I guess he does run out of bullets, but it's just like they should have just killed all of them because they what's up?
No, yeah,
Because
it's
they
like-
knew all of them were fucking in the gang. Like
Right.
they knew they were all connected at that point, but then they still just like leave like them alive essentially until like
the
know.
dialogue
Well,
them
I
to
mean,
death
Sam-
until it's time. Like, yeah, I get
I
you.
mean,
What's
Sam
that?
Jackson doesn't kill the people until like they make a move on him, right? So I mean,
Yeah, but I guess like
Smitty,
I'm just saying
Channing
like
Tatum shot him in the
if he
balls.
just
So
shot I
Yeah.
guess that's a good point, but it's
They're
like
all
if
wounded.
if he's willing to take them out and he knows like they're all connected, why wouldn't you just take them all out?
He
like,
shot Bob out of
when you
nowhere.
can. Yeah, exactly.
it-
That's like Bob. No, I'm thinking of Joe Gage. But yeah, exactly. So like
He knows
I don't
when to
know.
take out somebody when he's like written them off, basically.
I guess it's just like at a certain point, you know, all of them
Yeah.
are bad and know each other. So like,
Right. Like Daisy should have been
I don't know.
killed.
There's no
30
when you're
minutes
shot at
before
that
the movie
point. There's
ended,
no way you're gonna make this out unless you kill them. Like they're just gonna try to save themselves at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just
I get you.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
another
Right.
I
highlight.
guess maybe that's just
speaking
like
of-
too heartless. I don't know. Maybe like that's
No,
not
no.
how characters would act. But I feel
It
like
just
Sam Jackson
draws out the
showed that he's
end.
willing to kill them. You know, like
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Sam
Once
Jackson
Channing
was.
is gone, you would think it'd just be like, all right, like there's no there's no reason to
They have to like get sadistically to a point of like almost torture, and you know, without killing them. So it's just like, yeah, it's like Tarantino had to keep them alive to the end somehow. You know, like without just, which is what probably would happen. So like,
Yeah, I guess they were like kind of spinning bullshit too, like with the 15 men in Red Rock
Yeah.
and shit. And it's like, I mean, after when Manus kind of calls the letter out, you know, and you kind of realize he can see through like bullshit pretty well.
mhm.
You
It's
have a
like,
letter from Abraham Lincoln. Yes.
The president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah. So I get like why they held on, but I also kind of agree that yeah, at that point it should have just been like fucking end them. There's no point. Yeah.
Like this one, out of most Tarantino movies, I feel its length. I don't. It doesn't really breeze as
Oh yeah.
much as the other ones for me, in my opinion. Like it's just
Oh,
like
I'm surprised it hasn't even came up yet. But like, where we gotta talk about the fucking differences between this and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
wrote
We've
a
been waiting for
yeah.
this.
Do you stand by your statement?
In ways I'll stand. I think it's obviously more nuanced than just saying it's a copy of Reservoir Dogs again.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a mix up of Django Reservoir Dogs. It's like it's he's playing all the same notes he's done before. This movie doesn't like to me. It's not a 4-star movie because like a 4-star movie is like a necessary movie, and this one just does not feel necessary in Tarantino's filmography, in my opinion. Like it just doesn't feel like I'm getting anything fresh or new out of this one. I'm just having more fun with things that he's already done and said. Like, and then where I can find the similarities here, I mean, he's literally repeating lines in this movie that he's done in the past. Say adios to
He does that in
your
a lot of his
huevos.
movies.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
He does that in a lot of his movies, though.
I mean, not like one for ones though, in my opinion. Like maybe
I'm
he does.
sure.
I just didn't.
I
Notice.
don't know. I don't know. I caught
Yeah.
that one. Same
I'm
on.
sure.
Same.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
his like feature Channing Tatum moment is "Say adios to your huevos," and it's like literally like he's like, everyone loved my Inglorious Bastards line where I said "Say avides to your Nazi balls." Like, it's like, dude, like you're literally just saying literally the same line, like in a different language. Like, I don't know. And then Tim Roth's screeching being shot in the stomach is literally like a 1-for-1 reference to Reservoir Dogs, and that character like he's a different character, but like to draw these links to like homage your own story in these ways, like it's like you're not
fun, though,
saying something.
right?
It's fun, but
Tarantino verse, right?
it's like a fan fiction of what Tarantino person would do. It's like, oh, that guy's in Tim Roth and he's gonna get shot in the stomach and then he's gonna keel over and scream because that's what he
It's
does in Reservoir
Tarantino
Dogs.
doing fan fiction on Tarantino.
Dude, because honestly, like even the Michael Madsen walk out of the cabin, it's like the only time you leave the cabin almost, and it's like we know Michael Madsen's playing this character, and he did that in Reservoir Dogs, and he walked out and then killed somebody, and like did it in this sadistically slow way with music playing, and it's just like I'm like, I mean, I'm bitching at Scorsese for saying the same thing every movie. I gotta give Tarantino the same kind of like, eyes to be like, you're doing everything you just did. Like, so it's not just like the structure of it is different than Reservoir Dogs, even though there's a mystery with characters that you don't know. That's still kind of the setup of it all. But to me, it's like he was like shaking off Django Unchained when he wrote the intro, and he was like, "Oh fuck, what is this? Let's get him into a cabin, into a room. They don't know.
Let's go back to something I know."
That's what it feels like to me. Like it's a super entertaining movie, super great movie. It's awesome to watch. It just doesn't feel like necessary. And to be quite honest,
I guess
like,
I kind of see that.
what's that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you got any counters for that before I move on? But
no, I just think I kind of see that in the lineup. I don't know. You're. I just had such a good time with this. Like I see where you're coming from, but
yeah,
I'm just thinking of like mystery thrillers, and it's like in comparison. I guess I'm not comparing this more so to like his stuff, but as maybe I
Just
should be.
whodunits.
Yeah.
I think he's just like a naturally compelling writer, which makes this movie watchable. Like I wrote down like a highlight of Tarantino's work is that he can be so like slow and calculated. Like in the intro when it's like DB's like, well, this guy paid a pretty penny for privacy and you're gonna have to talk to him. And then Samuel L. Jackson's like, well, that's what I'll do. Like he's taking time to like let you like, get really in there to these characters into the story, but I don't know, it just doesn't like add up to like it doesn't add up to something new. It just adds up to something enjoyable, so which is not bad. I mean, not everybody's making new movies.
I guess I don't understand. I mean, what do you mean it doesn't feel necessary?
I guess like
I mean,
in
at some
when you
point,
look at
if we're watching like Kubrick movies, all his movies, there would always be something where it was like, oh, this is what he's done, and he's done it over and over again for all his movies, right? I mean, maybe
no,
not down to the dialogue, but he's going off different source material, not
the
his own material.
really the
But
only
like,
movies that I thought Kubrick was like repeating something was Passive Glory and Full Metal Jacket. To me, every movie in Kubrick's filmography felt very different and very like a different attempt and a different style and I mean similar styles, but like he's trying something new and different structures. You know, like 2001, the structure is like barely a fucking structure. Like, you know, it's just like he's doing different stuff. I guess with Tarantino, his movies feel like more of one voice in his catalog, but like when I look at all of his movies individually, I see like Reservoir Dogs, you know, Pulp Fiction, Jackie. All these movies are like, oh my fucking god, and then it's like Hateful Eight, and it's like that's I don't know. You just did coming off of Django. I think doesn't help when you like are basically the same time, basically the same. And I don't know. I made a note that I was like, I might like this movie more if it straight up was a sequel to Django, which it kind of started as. And like
yeah,
the Marcus Warren character clearly is like
Feels like
Django
an
at the start
older
of this.
version of Django.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a past with him being chased because he's a bounty hunter and he did something crazy in the past.
yeah.
So it's like maybe I'm too drawn into that idea where it's like Django and White Hell as like a sequel to this, which feels like a more true like Tarantino story where it's like this mishmash of like I said, like Django, and then he's like, oh fuck, it's not Django. What is it? Oh, it's Hateful Eight. Okay, hook. You know, like so within the realm like of his movies, this one is the one I would flick out, maybe even over Death Proof, just because like Death Proof is so different and he's trying something different. Even though I think this movie's better than Death Proof still. So does that? I don't know. I mean, it's a yeah.
No. I mean, you're supporting yourself with what you're saying, so I can't say you're wrong. But yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't find it unnecessary. I think what makes this movie special from like all Tarantino movies are special in their own ways because every character that he writes, it feels like it's intentional when he's writing these characters and they feel special in their own way.
Yeah.
And there's like they may have the same dialogue, but not even all the time, but like they may say the same thing that he's written for another character, but it's just intentional for that specific character. If this is making sense, like each character feels like it's crafted differently
I
and
get
with
what you mean.
so much attention to detail of what they say and how they say it and what they mean by it and how it adds to their character. So
I guess the Adios Huevos line, like to me, that's just Tarantino like being like, play the greatest hit, you know, like
sure, yeah.
I don't know. That one doesn't feel like a character as more as like I wanted to put a guy in the bottom of the basement, shoot balls again, and then like create a character after that. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I get what you mean. Like all of his characters are so defined almost
Right.
instantly. It's like in a couple lines you like know who they are, and you're like
Exactly.
you're very engaged with them. So he's just a good writer. So you got to give it to him at a certain point. It's just I know how much he is like on his own ego, so I have to like just knock a peg down when like a movie like this comes where it's like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit, but I feel like
Aiden motherfucker. No,
yeah.
I mean, if it's your opinion, it's a valid opinion. I mean, for me, I don't know. I feel like every one of these movies has their place in his catalog and his development as a writer director.
Mhm.
So,
that's
and I would say even this one didn't feel like Tarantino's ego, opposed to like say like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a fantastic movie, but you can tell that's Tarantino being like, I am the greatest.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Or
but
maybe
I respect that
he
movie a
was
lot
just
more.
having fun with it. I mean,
I
he
do too.
clearly likes westerns, you know. I mean,
Exactly.
maybe he
Well,
just
he already-
wanted to make a western thing again.
made
I
a
don't
And he
know.
want,
He just like didn't get enough. I don't know.
and it's made like a stage play. So it's like
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
It is. I
It's
mean,
just a different style for him too. So
yeah. Like that's where the playfulness I think comes in. I mean, playful, obviously, but like
yeah.
he's like almost like playing it to like he's talking to you straight up as an audience member, like through the voiceover. It's like Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very contained, but like I don't know, maybe I just want to see more areas. Like the story literally doesn't go anywhere either, so it's just like hard to feel the scope of a movie like this, where it just is so small,
Yeah.
intentionally so. But
Okay. I was really hoping that you would change your mind and like this a little bit better on this watch through. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's fun. Like I said, like it's engaging. It just doesn't like.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to keep shitting on it, but like it's
No,
just
no, no. I mean, it's your opinion, man.
yeah.
You're entitled to it.
And
That's just like
Do
your
you got
opinion.
more? Like, can you keep shitting on it?
I mean, I could keep going if you guys want. I don't know. I think like also my tones don't like translate very well because like this is a great movie, but I have to talk about it negatively because it's not Tarantino's like best movie. So it like
You're just critiquing.
I mean,
it's just critique.
I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
I could agree that it's not his best movie for sure, but even his worst movies are just so
Right.
good that
Yeah.
it's just hard to say it's a bad movie. But yeah, no, I get that.
It's not a bad
It's
movie.
easy. It's easy
No,
for
it's
the
not.
internet.
Honestly, this is like the best of the 3 movies we've talked about today. Like,
Yeah, hands
at
down.
least for
100%.
me. I
For
mean,
sure.
I assumed for everybody else. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'll rewatch like The Killer multiple times, I'm sure, but like Tarantino with without hesitation every year I watch his catalog at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. I mean, I always go back to his movies and rewatch them just because they're infinitely entertaining no
Right.
matter what. Even his worst movies are just infinitely entertaining.
Yeah, nothing
So,
really scratching an itch quite like his.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. I would also like to highlight too that the Ennio Morricone score in this, it's like his first time doing like original music, and I want to say like 30
It was
something
good.
years or some shit, but like really good. I mean, it adds like this dreary, dreadful tone. And when the slow intro with like Jesus on the cross or whatever, which I guess like visually bookending it, they're like hanging her at the end, even though I don't really get the message fully of like the path there. But
Yeah.
um, when it is like pulling slowly to reveal the carriage coming in, and then like it says original score by Ennio Morricone, the like it just like accentuate like that just like hits at that moment the score, and it's just like a perfect stinger for like the intro. It's like and it's just like I don't know, it's good editing, but also just like Tarantino like giving it to the composer too in that moment, I'd say. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, props.
yeah, for sure. I mean, shit, man. We only got one more week to Tarantino it up.
One more
Yeah.
highlight I'd like to talk about is just Kurt Russell, and that dude has the best head of hair, and
Luscious.
any
The
facial hair that
mutton
man
chops.
does, I
Yeah.
fucking
It's true.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah, it's a manly
So-
man. Yeah.
it
Envious.
is.
Straight up envious. Yeah.
When he goes, it makes me want to horse laugh and flicks his mustache every time. I'm like, you earned that, buddy.
Nice.
You earned that. So
Dude,
That's
honestly,
Good on you.
like, I couldn't. Okay, so like watching through this, I couldn't remember if OB was actually like part of the gang or if he was just totally unrelated. And like thinking about it now, like why wouldn't you just make Channing Tatum or like like the final member of the gang just OB and just have it like play out like that?
like
where
he
like
drove him
I don't
there.
know,
He was
you're
hired to drive
introduced
him there. or
to
whatever.
this character, yeah, but you don't know like their backstory and maybe he like had seen the sister and they like knew each other from before you even knew that they met each other, you know?
I guess they probably would have just like killed Kurt Russell like immediately when they left the carriage or
Right.
whatever. But
That is a very good point.
you could start the story earlier and have Marcus Warren join immediately to stop that from happening. You know, no, no, no. You could make it work if you wanted to, for sure. It's like
I
he
guess he
almost didn't
kinda-
want a reveal at the end of this, or in the middle of this movie. It's almost just like he was like, "Yeah, it's been everybody, and now it's just gonna be like the shootout."
right.
I don't know. It's like an anti-reveal with the person you never saw, never knew about, and
I mean,
everyone
and
else is involved.
ultimately, like you said earlier, I mean, ultimately, I would say the message, if there is a message, is them coming together at the end. And settling their differences and just
Yeah.
agreeing that, so
Yeah, I
you could look at
mean,
it that way.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean,
Feels fulfilling.
the discussion about like civilized justice versus frontier justice, I think that was like the main theme of the movie, or like what Tarantino was like getting at, I guess. Um, I just don't feel like it was like explored in a way that like I don't know. I guess like it's just such a simple one. Like he just sets it up, and then they like have frontier justice at the end, cathartically through their own experiences. But just I don't know. It's there. It's just like I said, and I'll see my previous comments before about why it's not the best. But
Yeah, that's fair.
They were both
That's
gonna
fair.
die there too.
yeah, I mean, I think they
They're
died at the end,
dead.
right? Like it's
They're all dead.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight, all dead. Yeah, but shit. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, close it out.
That's it.
Oh, wrapping it up.
Yeah,
Damn.
Sure.
you got to decide here soon on the next one, boys. I don't even know. We gonna
No,
Yeah.
follow that up. Actually, I know we discussed Von Trier, but I watched one of his movies this past week.
and
That is going to be an interesting discussion.
yeah,
Yes, that's another thing where it's like you have these artists like Tarantino, where we have mentioned like obviously he's got an ego and he likes to stroke it. You see, Lars von Trier, every time he makes a movie, it's like he's like, I'm going to make art. And like you're watching it and you're like, I get
respect
it,
it.
I do it, but it's just like a huge slap in the face of like, okay, maybe you should try to make this art more entertaining,
Yeah.
or I guess get out of your own head. So yeah, and
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
it'll
be
be an
down.
interesting dive.
I kind of want to wait
sure.
till like after the holiday season. I don't know.
No,
Is it
yeah,
like too
but-
dark to start right now?
Well,
Just
yes,
be like
yeah.
depressed as fuck for
The seasonal
holidays.
depression times. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanna, it's something I never saw before in movies. It was from this movie. It's
Mhm.
Antichrist is the one I watched, and it was just
Oh yeah, I saw that on Letterboxd. That you had watched that recently.
yeah, it's yeah,
Did it scar you?
crazy. Uh, Different parts about it, yes, it scarred me, but I think the problem is I think he was trying to get across a certain message, but I don't think it translated well to many of the audience out there.
I see.
But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong.
Hmm.
But
Not
yeah,
looking forward to that dive. That's kind of the dive I just want to like get out of the way
Then why are you doing it?
because I got
Same.
it. I got to know
I mean,
what it's about.
I have enjoyed Von Trier movies. Like The House That Jack Built, that was like a wild ride, but it made me think, and it was
Mhm.
more entertaining art.
Okay, I've heard
But then
Melancholia is like a really good movie.
exactly,
So like I want to get to
and
that one
like
mostly, but
exactly. So it's just like I know he's got ones out there, but this one he came directly from a mental institution and made this movie. Like when he
eh,
started making this movie, he couldn't even like hold the camera and look like
without
it took
shaking.
multiple shots to do stuff because he had a hard time using the camera himself, which is what he does. And it's just like maybe that's a sign you should let it cook a little bit longer, my friend.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not a badly made movie. It's just like you can tell he came out of a mental institution and did it.
Yeah, took the
And
script
it's
he
just like
wrote
he
in
said
the
it, the
institution.
most important movie in his career is Antichrist. And he's like, I'm sorry, man, but who hurt you?
Yeah,
So
I'm worried. Yeah, I don't. I
Damn.
mean, I just don't like obscenely dark movies with no redemption. It's just like not
yeah,
not
well,
my vibe.
yeah, that's this one that you just described it to a T. So
Cool, great.
yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
I don't know. I feel like you kind of need that stuff, though. I mean, like, I know it's fucking super depressing, but like, I don't know. Like, sometimes you just need to see how bad shit could get. You know?
Got to hit the highs
It's
and the
like
lows,
Give you that
it's
perspective. Yeah.
definitely as low as you can get, but then he adds things in there that
or even worse.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Shit, man. All right.
Somebody's got to do it.
It's like 6 movies too, though. Like I've scarred myself enough, right? Like Requiem for a Dream was nothing to me. Like Antichrist is gonna be
You've
fine.
never
It's gonna be
seen
fine.
anything like this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's specific things about it. Don't read into it, please, because there are specific things about it that you'll just be like, in the first 10 minutes, you'll be like, "What the hell?" And then after the first 10 minutes, you'll get to the last stretch, and you'll be like,
Why?
"What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Next
Yeah,
week,
so-
Matt is like totally changed.
Yeah, I'm just like a darker version of
like a
myself.
totally different person.
Yeah.
Dyed his hair
Because I don't like
completely
movies
black.
anymore. I just
The
don't
lights
wanna-
are down. And it's
I don't know how he can top it in terms of like just unexpected things that happen in movies
Hmm.
that wouldn't expect. But
Well, we'll start her up soon, but not too soon.
no, I'm just saying. Watching that one, it made me. I need somebody to talk about this movie
I
with.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, we'll go do
Yeah.
it together, man.
gotta get
don't
out the
worry.
demons that he
Yeah.
implanted.
Like I'm trying to watch like planes, trains, and automobiles before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be on the
Yeah.
light end, like. I mean, you guys been watching anything fun? Watching anything we're chatting about?
Gotten back into anime more. I always, go on binges here and there. But that's
Like
pretty
what?
much it. I watched like the first season of Hunter x Hunter like way back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Never really got that far, so now I'm rewatching it
Okay.
and trying to get through the end. But it's good so far, man. I'm like, where am I at? I'm at the part they just finished. They all got like their hunter's license essentially.
Cool.
So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
That's pretty neat.
Friends here and there.
Yeah, I finished Friends. Binged it
Yeah,
all.
how was that? How was
How
that
did
for
it
you?
feel?
It's good, man. It's a good show. I liked it. It
So
opened up
fucking
a
good.
section in my heart, and I watched the reunion like right after the finale, and I shed literal tears. So it's just like, maybe I'm just a pussy. Maybe I like movies, or I'm just
What
that
the
much
fuck,
of an
dude?
emotional guy. But
Fucking
I-
pussy.
I will say
Soft.
I don't cry during movies, and it's been multiple times where you guys have talked about getting emotional and stuff, and I always feel like maybe I have a problem. But Friends does get me choked up sometimes. But maybe it's just because it
gotta have the
plays such a
connection.
significant role in my life. Yeah.
I feel like that's why I love
So-
movies so much. Is I can just like, after an hour or whatever, if they've tailored emotion correctly, they can bring tears out of me because I can invest myself so like easily into the characters. But I mean, that's why I love it. That's why I love that shit. But yeah, no, it's I'll rewatch that show every once in a while here and just toss it on, and it's just comfort. It's just good shit, and
Yeah.
it's good writing. I mean, I think season 7 was like the low point of the show. Honestly, it just like felt like it was like buying into its own brand and not doing anything like original or new or fun
Was
with
that
it.
right after Chandler and Monica got married?
Yeah, it's like Vegas-ish, I think, around there. Maybe like
Okay.
the season before
Yeah.
that, but it was just like they hit their peak of popularity and were just kind of like coasting. And then season like 9 and 10, they like picked it back up and like started working again, and seemed like and like building it out
Yeah.
more, and ended good. I like the ending. So
Very good.
yeah, it's good. I think I'm also watching The Newsroom, which is a Sorkin show. Starts kind of slow, but by the end of it, I'm on board. I like the characters, and I'm about to finish that one, and then I'm gonna watch after those Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, because it's Sorkin and Matthew Perry in like the sitcom After Friends. So it's like a nice like little like mix of both the two things I just finished watching. I'm gonna
What's that
kinda,
one called?
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. It only ran for like one season, which is kind of shocking, but heard it's pretty good. Heard some good things about it when it was on, so like I'll give that one a go next, because I'd
Man,
honestly,
it's highly rated.
yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. Sorkin, so it's gonna be decent writing. I am gonna start Seinfeld soon, but coming fresh off of Friends, I just don't
Probably
know.
not a good thing.
It might not be.
Honestly, I don't really know why people actually compare the two shows, because
around the
they're
90s.
completely but that's like
90s
really the only thing that relates them. They're
shows
like
about-
really not the same show at all.
I mean, you could say they're both shows about nothing. Seinfeld more so about nothing. Friends has more of a linear story. But
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah,
definitely not the same feel. I don't even think the same types of people want those two shows.
I
Like
think they were
I don't
just
think
the
there's
two
like a lot of
biggest ones.
crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Two biggest ones in that
Yeah.
time.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'll get around to it, but Friends just hit like a sweet spot of like
Oh yeah.
caring about their characters, and like in Seinfeld they care about the characters, but I think they care about the situations more in Seinfeld than like the characters.
Yeah.
Does that make
Definitely.
sense? Like,
Definitely.
so I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll be a nice watch probably, but hard to live up to, I guess, after Friends probably. So
It is. Because I started Seinfeld and I can't get past. I mean, I will, but I'm only 2 seasons in, and it's just like it doesn't hit that spot where you know, it makes me feel something.
mhm.
It's kind of like how I feel about like The Office compared to Parks and Rec, I guess.
Mm.
Like I'll rewatch Parks and Rec, but I haven't rewatched The Office. You know,
I thought
because
that
the
was gonna flip.
characters.
Yeah.
No, because it's like I feel more emotionally attached to the characters in Parks and Rec because it feels like it's a lot more emotion behind the characters, whereas The
Really?
Office, not that they're definitely. I mean, Ben and Leslie, and then you have April and why can't I think of his name? Chris Pratt's character.
Is it just like
Maybe.
they're nicer characters, or is it like
They're nicer, and they actually seem to like form like these actual connections that seem to mean something and be more,
that's fair?
I guess, organic rather than
People
yeah. In
working
The
in an
Office, it's
office.
like you have
Yeah,
Jim and Pam, and then occasionally it's Dwight and Angela, but then it's really not there because Dwight's just a cunt, and it's just like he's always gonna be that way. So I don't know. Same with Angela, she's a bitch, and it's just like not as interesting as where April, she's kind of hard on the exterior, but like she has a heart, and Ron Swanson kind of breaks it and softens it, and then Andy comes in and kind of I don't know.
hmm The Office feels like more real and like raw to me, and like draws me into the characters more. Parks and Rec feels more like cartoony and silly with the heart of gold, but it's just like a little
Well,
too
that's what I
like
think it's a perfect
breezy.
mix.
Yeah,
It's like if Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Office came together
for
and
sure.
made a baby, it would be Parks and
Mm.
Rec.
Yeah, you can see kind of like the
Yeah.
stages of cartoony kind of like getting away from him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Parks and Rec is like a sweet spot for sure.
Yeah.
Other than that, I did watch a movie anticipating greatly, which was Charlie Day's movie Fool's Paradise.
And
Yeah.
This is his first like directorial debut movie. I'd heard negative stuff about it, so I kind of tried to go into it with like at least an open mind, and it's just not that good, man. It's kind of a bummer, and it's kind of a mind blowing thing that like the threshold of quality that makes It's Always Sunny like was not in place for this movie. It's just kind of
yeah.
like he got so many actors and so many things going on, and like nothing like came from the scenes. Like nothing came from like it's just weird. I mean, watch it if you want. I'll watch his next movie because I want to see him make more shit. Misstep on the first one, but yeah.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlie Day.
He's a funny
seen
dude. I listen to like the podcast. It's Always Sunny. He's like the funniest guy in the group too, which is
Definitely.
strange. But
Oh shit! I'm like catching up on Welcome to Wrexham, and I saw that they were like all at a game like together at the end of
yeah,
the season. I
yeah.
don't know. It was kind of nice. Yeah.
Speaking of shows that make me cry, dude, that show's made me cry 2 times this season.
Dude,
Oh shit!
Same.
And yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they just did their finale last week, and it was great.
Yeah, I
watched
don't
it.
think I've watched the last episode yet, but I still need to watch
Me
it.
either.
It's just a
I
great
mean, I
journey to
know that
follow.
they, get promoted and stuff like that, but yeah, it's been cool. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else
Yeah,
before we sign off?
The Sopranos. Oh shit! Are you caught up on Invincible?
I haven't watched the newest one. I've seen 2.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah.
It was fucking wild.
That's good. The shows are backing up on me now. I think Friends kind of like put a stoppage in all my like watching for a bit there. So I got that one. I got Monarch. I did watch The Curse, the first episode of The Curse.
Damn.
Still not a thing.
Maybe I
about
should
that.
just. Oh, gotcha.
It's
Like not that good.
it's different than what he's done before. I'll just say that. I've only watched one episode. It's him and Benny Safdie. It's almost like a weird child that those two people have like made.
So
And
like, should I get Paramount Plus again and watch it or not?
just watch it. Just fucking find it online, dude. You're like, no, don't get Paramount Plus.
All right, yeah.
But it's I don't know. I'll keep watching. See what happens. So that and For All Mankind, Rick and Morty. All these shows are just.
Oh shit! I gotta catch up on Rick and Morty.
About Rick and Morty, yeah.
I've been falling behind these past couple weeks because I haven't even watched Sopranos.
Taking a little break.
I'm itching.
Yeah.
Fucking itching to get back into it, but I can't seem to find the time.
Yeah, where you at?
I'm still at where I was last time we talked about it. Middle of season 3. Like smack dab in the middle.
I think I probably passed you up at this point. I think I'm on season 3, episode 10.
Oh, then yeah, you passed me up. But like where I ended on season 3, it's like at a complete high where it's just like, but I can't find the time.
Yeah. I don't know. This season, I thought it was kind of weird. I feel like Tony is just like racist, like kind of out of nowhere. I didn't really pick up on it the first 2 seasons. I thought it was just kind of for the plot, which, whatever. They're trying to make him, look like an ass. The asshole side of him,
They kind of allude to it in season 1 with the union strikes.
That's true. And then, damn, there's something else going on too. I don't know. I thought it was just like weird how they just added a lot of characters that like are in the mob that you've just like never seen before, but they're just like.
I think after like
they just act like they've been there the whole time.
Add faces or
fill
something.
some space. Yeah.
Damn. I'll get back into it.
I mean, I'm liking it, but yeah, I don't know.
It's a lot. I mean, that's like 100 episodes or something of just straight binging. So that's a lot of work, to get through that shit.
Yeah.
I am picking up Mr. Robot again too, so I'm
on
I'm on the long stretch home, I think.
Hey,
season 4.
Fargo's coming back tomorrow.
Right.
Shit. I'll probably watch that as soon as I can, yeah. I'll talk about it next week if you want to talk.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool. That's probably one of the most anticipated shows of the year for me, if not the most, honestly.
Yeah. Actually, I had 2 people text me. One of my coworkers was like, "Is Fargo worth getting into?" And I said, "Season 1 and 2, fucking phenomenal. So yes, watch it." And then another guy in one of our group chats told one of our friends to watch it because it's great, and so it's coming back. Obviously, people are talking about it. So yeah. Because I got like 3 or 4 people. We all watched season 1 and 2 together in college, so I got those guys hooked on it. So it's good.
Indeed. Well, if they got no other comments, then thanks for listening, guys. Talk next week. More Tarantino. Another movie chest.
Tarantino.
Yeah, the final one. Yep. Kind of wrap up the discussion and then move on to the next director.
Yep.
Cool.
Who will it be?
Yeah, we don't even know, so we'll figure it out.
Not Van Trier.
Nah, yeah.
It's not that time.
Not yet. No. All right, but thanks for listening, guys, and see you on the